Who were the real heroes of Napoleon's masterpiece at Austerlitz? Was it Boney himself or one of his brilliant marshals? Not quite. Because today we will uncover how the smallest battalions of Napoleon's army played the biggest role in winning one of history's most decisive battles. His army was outnumbered 3-2, and although he had managed to lure the enemy into his prepared battlefield, everything was not going well. The Allied troops had taken the heights south of the village of Pratzen, overlooking the French positions. Here, Russian General Kutuzov thought he had trapped Napoleon and was preparing to deliver the final blow when suddenly a thick fog rolled in. And when their artillery was unable to stop this massive force, the Allied commanders knew they had no choice but to retreat. But as the smoke cleared, Lannes and Kleber found that they had actually defeated much larger forces. And if they weren't stopped, they would inflict heavy casualties on Davout's men as they advanced through the open field. Then suddenly, a thick fog rolled in. And like Lannes before him, Soult recognized the opportunity. He ordered his men to fix bayonets and charge. Although Soult's force was only 6,000 strong, the Allied artillery could not shoot them down in the fog. And so their ranks broke and fled. That's why Davout ordered General Soult to lead a small force of 6,000 men to capture the heights and silence those guns. Just months later, he would face another coalition army at Jena and Auerstedt. This time, the Allied forces outnumbered Napoleon's by a staggering 4-1. And although he won a brilliant tactical victory, many of his troops fought with fixed bayonets against Prussian infantry squares. You can learn more about this incredible feat in our video about the bayonet assaults at Jena. Yet most of these men will be completely unknown to you. No, Lannes was a brilliant tactician. As he led his men up the slope, another force of 6,000 French troops under General Kleber attacked from the other side. Lannes realized that if the fog lifted even for a moment, the Allied artillery would mow down his men. So he ordered every soldier to stuff paper towels soaked in oil and resin into the barrels of their muskets. Then, as the fog thickened, they fired. Lannes and Kleber smashed the enemy on the Pratzen Heights. Davout's flanking maneuver worked to perfection. And Soult secured the right flank by capturing the crucial heights overlooking the battlefield. What followed was the most spectacular smokescreen in history. The acrid smoke billowing from 10,000 muskets created such a thick cloud that it hid Lannes' entire force from the enemy. And the smoke formed such a thick wall along the slope that the Allied artillery could not shoot through it. Their combined force of 10,000 men would soon trap the Allies on the summit. Like this man, Marshal Louis Lannes, whose name is barely known even in France today. Or this man, General Jean de Dior Soult, who only achieved the rank of Marshal after hurting his knee. But their deeds at Austerlitz are so amazing that you won't believe what they did. On December 2nd, 1805, Napoleon faced the combined armies of Austria, Russia, and Sweden at Austerlitz. Then Lannes made his move. With only 4,000 Frenchmen, he charged up the Pratzen Heights in a daring bayonet assault. But it wasn't just a frontal attack, but there was a problem. In the confusion, the Allies thought they were being attacked by at least 30,000 French troops. Yet despite this incredible victory, only one French general received significant recognition, and that was Davout, who had commanded the corps that captured the village of Austerlitz. Everyone praised Davout's brilliant move that lured the enemy into the trap at Austerlitz. But few knew that without Lannes and Kleber's brilliant actions on the Pratzen Heights, Davout's flanking maneuver would have failed. You see, as Davout was leading his men to encircle the enemy, he noticed that the Allied troops on the Pratzen Heights were still shooting at his troops. But as Soult's men approached the slopes, they too were almost immediately pinned down by the Allied artillery. So, within a span of 3 hours, 3 small French forces had turned the tide of battle. And when the Allied army collapsed, only one French general received significant recognition. Yet it was the bravery of his marshals that made Austerlitz possible. A great victory, yet Napoleon was already thinking about his next battle.